Coming up on this edition of Capture, we catch up with an APU alum as he grows his local business, speak with the Azusa PD about their social media presence, and detail the latest on the Gold Line extension.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Capture. I'm Faith Vandervoort.
And I'm Landon Troca.
While the Iowa caucuses were almost too close to call between Democrats last week, Tuesday's New Hampshire primary told an entirely different story. This time around, it was Senator Bernie Sanders who claimed the primary victory over Hillary Clinton. Sanders claimed 13 delegates to Clinton's 9.
Republican frontrunner Donald Trump had no problem securing New Hampshire with 35.3% of the votes in his favor. Ohio Governor John Kasich finished second, just ahead of Senator Ted Cruz. Following close behind was former Governor Jeb Bush. An official audit of the Iowa Democratic caucus results was performed early this week, confirming Hillary Clinton's victory over Senator Bernie Sanders. Following the New Hampshire primaries, both Carly Fiorina and Chris Christie officially suspended their campaigns.
The next phase of the election will take place on February 20th with the Democratic caucus in Nevada and the Republican primary in South Carolina. On Sunday, North Korea announced that it had launched an Earth observation satellite into space. According to a series of CNN reports, the United Nations held an emergency meeting later that day to talk about threats that the launch will pose on international security. North Korea explained that the satellite will be used for peaceful and scientific purposes. However, surrounding countries say the rocket was used as a ballistic missile test. This launch came weeks after North Korea said to have successfully tested a hydrogen bomb that put the country under international sanctions. All 6 stations along the Gold Line of the Foothill Extension are on track to open March 5th. According to the San Gabriel Valley Tribune, the Metro rejected requests from the city of Azusa, APU, and Rosedale land partners to delay the opening of the APU Citrus College station. The delay would have postponed the opening until summer to avoid traffic and construction overwhelming Rosedale streets until the extension of Citrus Avenue was completed in July. Metro said it will monitor traffic patterns at the station and report the observations to law enforcement, but will remain on course.
The Azusa Police Department teamed up with the university's resource officer for a unique project. Here's Capture reporter Gina Indor with the story.
In light of social media's increasingly frequent use, the university's resource officer Mike Byers decided to utilize web platforms to become accessible to the Azusa community.
And it was all to reach out to the community and bridge that gap between the police department and the community, as well as be able to produce emergency messages and get them out to the community when in times of need.
Through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, the 20-year law enforcement veteran put his web development background to use, posting updates, warnings, and safety tips.
24 hours a day, they can get onto one of the various platforms and reach out to us with either crime tips, information, maybe they just have a general question. And we realize that a lot of people have never really talked to a police officer, and this is their opportunity to reach out and ask us what, maybe they don't understand why we did something. So it's been very positive for bonding with the community.
Byers' social media program was put to the test when the Colby fire engulfed the San Gabriels just 15 days after its launch in January of 2014. Byers' web presence allowed the Azusa Police Department to send out emergency messages on all of their social media accounts, warning and protecting local residents. The accounts have also helped them to recover stolen vehicles, property, and missing people.
The awareness that we have on social media and his presence just helps me feel like I'm part of the community and part of keeping everyone safe.
You can follow the Azusa Police Department on Twitter at Azusa PD to see more of what Officer Mike Byers is doing to bring awareness to the community. The acrobatics and tumbling team kicks off their 2016 campaign with a home meet against Hawaii Pacific at 6 p.m. in the Felix Event Center. The Cougars were picked 4th in the NCATA preseason coaches poll after losing to Baylor in last year's semifinals. The Cougs will host 3 home meets this season, giving fans a chance to catch the unique, high-flying action only offered at 13 schools nationwide. The swim and dive team will be competing in the PCSC Championships in Los Angeles this weekend. This 4-day meet is the last chance for the Cougars to qualify for the Division II National Meet in March. Divers Kiana Moore and Rachel Johns have already qualified along with swimmer Rosalie Mira Santa Ana. Freshman Abigail White could be the second swimmer to qualify for nationals if she has a great performance this weekend.
I'm really team oriented, so it means so much that I can do it for my team, not only for the team but also for the university, because I know they just moved up from NAIA to NCAA, so the fact that I can be one of the first people to get them to nationals is pretty awesome.
Finally today, we sent Caitlin Slater out to APU's newest hotspot, Mantra Coffee, to follow up on how they're doing.
Capture got the opportunity to catch up with founder of Mantra Coffee, Johnny Liu, 2 months after his grand opening. Owned and operated by the APU alum, Mantra Coffee is located just west of campus down San Gabriel Avenue. Before it became a hotspot for students, Mantra was just an idea.
When the initial idea came to me, we were at a leadership conference, and at that conference, they were just encouraging us to try something new, risk. And so I started off with just kind of scribbles on 2 pages, and ended up being a 40-page business proposal about this not-for-profit social enterprise coffee shop.
Like many entrepreneurs, Lou was faced with the obstacle of funding. After cashing in a personal investment, he was able to set his dream in motion with an additional $40,000 raised via Kickstarter in what he calls a divine intervention. As Lou would come to find out, it wouldn't all be smooth sailing.
About 3 weeks before we opened, it was probably the lowest I personally had ever felt. We had received some notices, and I felt that all of my tangible, lines of support were exhausted. I mean, I was physically and emotionally exhausted as well, and I felt that it was just completely over. And then who would have even known that just 3 weeks later we would be open, which was such a blessing.
Throughout his journey, Lou was able to identify 3 qualities he'd recommend to aspiring entrepreneurs: perseverance, unexpectedness, and humility.
Mantra will begin their monthly giving process in 4 months, allocating 51% of their profits to applicants. For more information on the application and selection process, visit mantracoffeeco.com.
Remember to check back with us next week for more. In the meantime, be sure to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at APU Capture. Finally, we would like to extend a congratulations to the world champion Denver Broncos for their victory in Super Bowl 50.
And that is all we have for this edition of Capture. We'll see you next time.